everyone, this is Kassie, and these are the weekly tarot horoscopes for the week of January 21st to February 6th. Today we are using the Old English Tarot. It's one of my favorite decks, and in fact it's one of my oldest decks. I got it when I was first learning tarot. It's simple and yet powerful to read, with clean images and a very peaceful atmosphere. I want to thank you for all your support, it's very important to me, and if you like my style of reading and interpreting tarot cards, please subscribe to my channel. I'm planning to do more tarot videos, not just predictions. I won't tell you what it is yet, but I promise that it will be something interesting. If you want to check out last week's predictions and compare them with this week's energies, you can click on the link above that will take you to the corresponding video. And if you are looking for a more detailed and personal look on how things will play out in the week that follows, you can contact me on my psychic platform www.kassiekai.com, where you also get 3 free minutes with your subscription. But let's get on with the predictions. For Aries we had the Strength, and this week it's the Temperance. Maybe you felt a little bit reserved under the energy of the Strength, and you decided to pull back and hold back, or someone else did that, and with the Temperance this week, slow energies continue. Although the Temperance will make you more proactive and you will want to make things happen. Also, restrictions and limitations you experienced last week, this week will start to loosen up and things will get easier for you, especially in situations or relationships that seem to be a little strained. And you may have to sit out and wait to see how things will progress, as it appears that not everything is in your hands at the moment, and there might be decisions that another person has to make before things start to move forward. This week there will be an opportunity to balance your emotions and also stabilize a connection between you and another, and there will also be healing. Don't forget that the Temperance is one of the cards associated with healing, so if someone has been sick or you have been sick, expect they will feel better. But the Temperance is also emotional healing, and that's a good time to heal emotions that have turned negative and sour. You will probably have to find a way to blend 2 different energies, and that could refer, for example, to different expectations that you have with someone, or different plans that need to somehow be combined. And it's about not being scared or intimidated because someone wants different things. It's about accepting and honoring those differences. And the Temperance is also the card of alchemy, which means we keep trying different methods until we find the one method that produces the results that we want. So if things weren't going the way you wanted them to go, don't hesitate to try new things, to make adjustments, but whatever you do, do it in moderation. This is not a week for bold moves and extremes, but since you are under the energy of the Strength card still, you can use what you consider to be your strengths, your gifts, to resolve and overcome obstacles. If you are wondering how someone feels about you, it appears that there are some ups and downs, and they have a mixture of feelings as the situation has not yet stabilized. There might have been some significant events or developments between the 21st November and the 22nd December, and now there will be further developments as the situation is progressing towards a new stage, or someone you were dealing with around that time will resurface now. For Taurus, we had the 9 of Cups and now the 2 of Swords. With the Knight of Cups you had last week, you must have enjoyed some very pleasant energies, or a success, or something you were expecting manifested finally, and that must have felt really good. And this week it appears that you will have to make a decision. And that might be because someone's changed their behavior towards you and they are now a little more reserved or more indecisive, or they don't give you access to their life unless you pay something in return. And if you don't manage to find some common ground, this might end up in a stalemate, which could hold for a while but not for too long. Energies seem to change a little this week. After the emotional Nine of Cups, the Two of Swords is mind over emotions. So you will explore and examine a situation under the light of reason and not so much with your emotions. And that's because you will find it a little difficult to trust your feelings. Don't forget that the Two of Swords is the moon in Libra, and that placement brings many fluctuations and emotional ups and downs, but what it also brings is the desire to be fair. So no matter what decision you make or what someone else says or does, it will probably be a fair and balanced choice, even if it may not appear to be so in the beginning. And it's important that you don't get caught up in strong emotional reactions, so try to stay away from drama. I expect that you will be exploring two different options this week, and that may either be in your personal or your professional life, and your goal now is to be satisfied, as the Nine of Cups last week showed you how important it is to be happy with what you choose to do, and it should be a choice that makes you content primarily. Events that happened between 23rd September and the 2nd October seem to have a particular significance this week, or there might be a person you are dealing with around the time that will now require your attention again. If there has been an argument or communication has stopped, expect that this week there will be some sort of reconciliation. For Gemini, we had the Three of Wands, and this week it's the Ten of Pentacles. The Three of Wands you had last week puts you in a position of waiting, and the news you will receive this week will be positive because the Ten of Pentacles shows the successful completion of a matter, and it's especially beneficial for matters involving money, career, inheritance, but also family matters, so you will feel that your efforts have paid off. The Ten of Pentacles is a strong earth card, and that's why you should expect more stability this week, and you will be dealing with the practical aspects of a situation or a relationship, building a strong foundation, and you will be working with other people to do that, because tens usually show and require the participation of other people. A group of people may be working together to create stability or boundaries. And speaking about boundaries, you have to draw some this week, especially if you are dealing with a person whose priorities are very different than yours. So maybe it's someone who puts money or their career above everything else and everyone else, neglecting other things, like for instance a relationship they have with you, or perhaps there are commitments that bind this person and they cannot go ahead with a certain plan or desire that you have. For instance, you may be with someone who's married, or you are married, and those commitments do not allow you to enjoy a healthy and solid connection. And if you are wondering how someone feels about you, with this 10, expect that they feel comfortable with you and with the situation as it is. It's important for them to feel safe and secure, and if you can provide that safety or security, that will be greatly appreciated. The Ten of Pentacles means that you may have to protect your home in some way. So perhaps you'll have to have your family or rely on your family to help you, or you may have to stay at home for one reason or another. Whatever happened between the 12th and the 22nd September may require your attention now, or events that happened back then will come to a culmination this week. For Cancer, we had the King of Wands, and now it's the Eight of Cups. Last week's King of Wands was someone who took positive action, someone who helped you with something, or just someone who came closer to you, and now this same person seems to be taking distance, or perhaps you are the one who does this, and there might be a push and pull situation. When one of you gets too close, the other backs away, and you chase each other. So you are never in a situation of stability or true commitment. That will eventually wear you down and will make you want to end things if you remain on the same path that is. Under the energy of the Eight of Cups, this week you will explore new options and maybe something that feels like a calling, something you believe you can have, and that could be anything, a person, a job, a life situation that appears to be much more appealing than what you have now. Eights represent change and you do want change, but maybe you are not feeling ready for it. So try to observe how energies are shifting at the moment and in which direction things appear to be going. The dates between the 19th and the 28th February seem to be of particular significance, and perhaps that's when the current energies will culminate and there will be a completion or a final decision you will make around that time, and you may decide to end something that has gone for too long and you are not feeling good in it anymore. As you are a water sign and the Eight of Cups is a water card, you find yourself in a very familiar environment as you understand very well the water energy, which is basically emotional energy. The Eight of Cups astrologically is Saturn in Pisces. Now, Pisces is a very sensitive, emotional and psychic sign like you and is easily affected by emotional fluctuations. However, Saturn is a teacher and he often teaches hard lessons, so he won't allow too much emotional energy and he will try to restrict it. That's why it's possible that you will experience resistance if you try to talk about feelings or if you try to get someone to open up emotionally. It's better to leave that for now and let conversations about feelings for another time. In around 8 days, energies will shift again and you may find a better moment for such talks. For Leo, we had the Page of Pentacles and now it's the Nine of Swords. It appears that the universe brought you an option or an opportunity last week with the Page of Pentacles, and perhaps you decided to start something new or you received news about a new beginning. However, under the energy of the Nine of Swords, it appears that you are now stressing over the situation and maybe you are even thinking not to go ahead with it because something did not go exactly as you thought it would. And perhaps you are feeling that way because the response you got from someone was not the one you were hoping for, and that could be either a personal or professional connection. But that's because you and that person are not in conscious resonance, meaning you have different expectations and plans. It's like when we are trying to explain something to someone, but no matter how much we say, they fail to understand. While there are those who can get us perfectly just in a few words. Like minds attract, while unlike minds repel, and the same applies to situations you are dealing with now. If it's in tune with your vibration, it will happen. If it's not, be grateful that it's not happening. There's no denying that there's an issue that needs to be resolved and you may be coping with it alone, feeling powerless, but it will be resolved because nines are the point when a cycle is closing. You did what you could do and soon you will be getting a push from life to go to the next stage. Within 9 to 10 days from now, you will start seeing a very different situation as energies are changing. The Nine of Swords is Mars in Gemini, and that means your words and your ability to communicate your thoughts is now very powerful, as is your ability to control and manipulate through words. However, Mars can be unpredictable, so try to think before you speak to avoid conflict. If you find that someone's trying to stir the pot, so to speak, don't participate in that. Your moods will be shifting throughout the week, as well as your energy levels. If you feel that you need some time by yourself, away from others, seek solitude to quiet your mind, and that will help you unwind. If you're wondering about how someone feels about you, their feelings are rather negative at the moment. Try to connect with them at a later time when the dust settles. For Virgo, we had the Six of Cups and this week the Four of Pentacles. With the Four of Cups last week, you must have felt some very positive and joyful energies, and maybe you connected with someone from the past, or you went to visit familiar places or faces, and that made you feel really good. It made you feel a sense of deeper connection, of belonging. However, with the Four of Pentacles this week, you're deciding to hold back and try to control your feelings or your enthusiasm or even your need for fun and joy. The Four of Pentacles focuses on what makes us feel secure, be it money, a stable job, a family, a relationship, whatever it is that you consider a strong and secure base to rely on. And in the name of security, this week you may decide to sacrifice fun or your creative expressions. There might be a fear that you are going to lose something or someone, and you will decide to tighten your grip on something or to make rules or to draw boundaries. And that means you may get possessive towards someone, or someone else will get possessive, and there might be episodes of jealousy or trust issues may arise. If you are wondering how someone feels about you, feelings are there, but they are holding back, trying to control them. They want to play safe and they don't want to risk getting hurt. For now, they want to keep their feelings to themselves and they don't feel like sharing. However, under this energy, I wouldn't be surprised if you are on their mind all the time. Events that happened between 10th and 19th January may not come to a completion because fours do show that a stage is being completed, or if you were afraid that you are going to lose something, this week you will see that it's secure, or if you are thinking about buying something expensive like a car or property, this will be a good week to do so. The Four of Pentacles is Mars in Capricorn, and that means you can now be very strategic about what you want to do, either in your personal or your professional life, and you will get laser focus that will allow you to go ahead with things that you have been procrastinating or that for one reason or another appear to be stuck. Although that's not a card of big change, it's an energy that makes things happen even if it's slow. For Libra, we had the Queen of Cups and now it's the Ace of Wands. You had the sensitive and emotional energy of the Queen of Cups last week, and that means that relationships and matters of the heart must have required your attention and your focus, and perhaps you were dealing with a water sign or ascendant person who's now making an offer for you. An offer for a new beginning, and this week you will find the energy and the enthusiasm to go ahead with things that have been stuck or you have been procrastinating. If you're wondering about the feelings of someone, the Ace of Wands tells you that there's chemistry and sexual attraction and also a desire to make things happen. The Ace of Wands is a card of action, and that's why whatever you decide to do this week will be favored and you will get immediate and positive results. If someone has been slow, as the Queen of Cups you had last week is a slow energy, expect that things will start picking up and speeding up, and developments will be much faster this week, and you will feel more excited and enthusiastic about the progress you are making. One thing you need to remember about aces is that they do show potential, so whatever you have in your mind can progress and develop into something serious and solid, either personal or professional. However, you need to keep in mind that there are many stages between now that you're starting and the final outcome that you have in mind. And at times you may feel a little stuck in those first stages. But that's when you should not give up, knowing that actions you take now will determine your future. So whatever you do this week will echo in the future somehow, so make sure you choose wisely. Timing with the aces is now, and that's why you should not wait or delay if you want to do something. If you want to send a message or an invitation, do it now, as it's the most favorable time. Or if someone else is waiting for an answer from you, try not to keep them waiting. It's very important to keep building up momentum and follow the flow of energy, follow the path that life shows you. For Scorpio, we had the King of Swords, and this week it's the Two of Wands. This week you may find that someone is being indecisive, and that someone is represented by the King of Swords, which would be an air sign or ascendant, Libra, Gemini or Aquarius, and that person does not act quickly on emotions. They want to mull things over a little, and that means you will be waiting for them to decide. He is exploring two different options, two different paths, or there may be a third person involved in these two. So there's a decision that needs to be made, a decision between two different people. There might be a dilemma about whether to keep things as they are or to embark upon something more with you. This man is at the crossroads and his attention is divided at the moment, and maybe he has to choose between love and career, for instance, because he knows that he will not be able to give both the same amount of attention. The decision will probably be made in 2 weeks, give or take, and it's advisable not to put pressure or force and to let things develop organically. When it comes to feelings, the Two of Wands shows there is attraction and there are warm feelings. Wands are fire energy anyway. But as is the case with twos, it also shows hesitation and ambiguity, which means that certainty isn't there and stability isn't there either. The Two of Wands is the Sun in Aries, and under this energy you will feel that you want to do things the way you want, the way that seems right to you, and that could cause some clashes in your relationships, especially if you are dealing with people who have strong personalities, like the King of Swords, and there might be some power struggles that will cause friction. At the same time, under this influence, you will have too much energy and you will feel determined, and much can be accomplished this week. Also, sexual energies will be very strong and you will have some very intense moments. The Two of Wands always comes with choices, and if things have been slow or stuck, expect that this week life will bring you opportunities to choose from, and that will give you power. For Sagittarius, we had the Queen of Swords and now the Ace of Pentacles. Someone will come to you with a gift or an offer, and that someone is the Queen of Swords from last week. The Queen of Swords is a person that's an air sign or ascendant, Libra, Gemini or Aquarius. And if you have been dealing with a difficult or confusing issue, life will open a new door for you, or an opportunity will arise for you to put things on a new basis. So if there have been contrasts, disagreements or a fight, expect that this week you will receive an offer, an olive branch that could help you put things back on track. If you are wondering about the feelings of someone, the Ace of Pentacles means that they are now open or more open to connecting with you, and since Pentacles are physical, there will be more physical activities, more meetings, more sex too. The Ace of Pentacles shows positive feelings, so the person you are interested in is feeling content and happy. However, since all pentacles are slow, the message here is that time and effort is needed for this to materialize into a solid relationship. If you are wondering about how a situation will progress, there will be some sort of a new beginning or a new stage, and you will explore new elements that will come into play. Also, since aces are the first stages, the message here is that whatever you are trying to achieve will take time and patience. Pentacles might be slow, but they give solid and long-lasting results. This ace brings good news about practical matters, career matters, financial issues that may now be resolved. So for instance, you may receive some money this week from your work, or perhaps it will be money that was owed to you, or you may get back something that you borrowed to someone, or it can be a document that will be issued, a document you've been waiting for a while, and that could be even a legal document if we take into account the Queen of Swords that is associated with such matters. Expect that health matters will improve too, so if you have been sick or another around you has been sick, things will stabilize. For Capricorn, we had the Seven of Wands and now the Wheel of Fortune. After the resistance and opposition you must have faced with the Ace of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune indicates that life intervenes and something will happen out of the blue that will help you get over those obstacles and the challenges you've been facing. When the Wheel of Fortune appears, things are out of your control and timing is divine timing, so trust that the universe will make it so that issues will be resolved in a way that may seem magical and quite unexpected. So this week, standing your ground and defending your position will pay off, and now your focus is changing and you won't have to hold your own anymore, and you will find yourself in a better strategic position and more in control of things. The Wheel of Fortune often brings events that feel karmic in some way, and there may be strange coincidences, synchronicities, lucky moments that you did not anticipate. Events that will happen this week are events that are meant to happen. So, no matter what manifests, try not to complain and to see where energy takes you. There's a divine plan behind all this and divine guidance. And if you remain open and non-judgmental, you can trust that the universe will guide you to the right path. The planet Jupiter is associated with the Wheel of Fortune, and Jupiter means luck and expansion. So don't be surprised if energies change rapidly in a more positive manner and in ways that you did not expect. If you want to know how someone feels about you, the Wheel of Fortune indicates there are emotional fluctuations and this person goes up and down with their feelings, so you're dealing with a situation that has not stabilized yet, so feelings may be changeable and uncertain as things are still unfolding. This week expect big changes and don't be surprised if people who were fighting you in the previous weeks and they were opposed to anything you said or did, this week they might be converted to allies and suddenly they may side with you and agree with you. For Aquarius, we had the Death and now it's the Judgment. Since the death that you got last week indicates a rather difficult experience that could bring an ending, the Judgment is resurrection, rebirth. So this week expect an opportunity to rise up and to take hold of what you've learned from going through last week's challenge and use that knowledge to get to a new and brighter place. This combination gives the promise that you can transform any situation you find yourself in and turn it in your favor. So perhaps there was something that came to full stop in the previous days and you know that it's not going any further, and that's something you need to accept and take a completely different road if you want to get anywhere. But before taking the new path, take a good look at yourself and understand what the mistakes you made are so that you don't repeat them. Situations and persons from your past will require your attention this week, so perhaps you will hear from someone that you've lost contact, or you will experience a situation similar to one you experienced in the past, and you will probably have to make different choices if you want to have different results. So it's possible there will be karmic events and karmic lessons this week, and the people you will be dealing with may have a karmic past life connection with you, so energies will be really intense. That's why, if you're wondering how someone is feeling about you, they may feel they have a karmic bond with you, and there are strong, passionate, sexual feelings. Now, what they decide to do with those feelings might be part of the karmic lesson they have to learn, or you have to learn, so some aspects of this connection can be a little painful or frustrating. Under this energy, we rarely have control over what is happening, since usually life takes control, and the only thing we can do is to go with the flow and try to align the past with our future without holding on to situations that are dead a long time now. This week you will get the chance to make a new beginning, to open a new door, And if this week is your birthday, this is a very positive card to have, a very lucky card that suggests this will be a very significant and karmic year for you. For Pisces, we had the Five of Cups and now it's the Tower. The Five of Cups you got last week must have generated feelings of sadness and disappointment, and maybe you went down a very negative path with your thoughts, but life will rarely let us experience the same kind of feeling for too long, and when we fail to make a drastic change by our own, life will intervene and will manifest a sudden, unexpected event like the one the Tower indicates. So expect the unexpected this week, as something will happen to stir the waters, so to speak, and things can get really unstable for a while, or you may get a little upset in that process. But keep in mind that's all for the best, because there must be a situation that needs to change drastically, so that you can make room for fresh experiences that are more aligned with your current vibration. The Tower gets a bad rap in Tarot, but in many cases the Tower is exactly what's needed for things to move forward. If you're wondering how someone feels about you, they must have had a sudden realization that changed the way they feel, and that could go either way. If they were not interested in you, for instance, now they will be more open emotionally, or the opposite. In any case, expect a shift when it comes to emotional connections, and you will see that people act in ways that you don't expect, or even you will act in unexpected ways that will leave people surprised. The Tower has so much energy because it's associated with Mars, and you will feel the urge to take action no matter what. Just make sure that you don't get into arguments, because Mars always likes to fight and argue. So it's easy under this energy to get angry and lash out at someone and then regret it. So try to channel all this excess energy into doing things that are creative or things that you have been procrastinating to do, and avoid getting into heated conversations. This is not a good week to try and resolve conflicts. Allow energies to settle down first, and within 15 days or so, you will feel very different vibes and a very different energy. So these were the weekly tarot scopes for the week of January 21st to February 6th. I hope you enjoyed them, I hope you find them helpful, and I will see you next week.